Good Sunday morning to you. Good Sunday morning to you. I don't know where you're going to catch this from. I ain't going to be out here that long, but I did want to salute still a living queen. She is not an ancestor. 79 years strong. Elizabeth Eckford. She's still among us. She'll be 80 years old this October. And I know the Little Rock Nine gets talked about a lot. And I know individually in their areas that they probably dwell in, that who may still be living from this period gets talked about a lot. But individually, Elizabeth Eckford, in that photo, showing the composure, showing the courage, showing the strength that she showed, should live in any young child of African descent when they're presented with any type of challenge out here, any type of difficulty that, and I won't have to go back into this because y'all know I say it just to be concise, but a black child, a black American child, any type of difficulty that they may endure in their life, if you can go back to this picture, the picture where Elizabeth is walking to school and she is being met by a white mob, a bigoted, nasty mob. And most famously, Hazel Bryan, who is the one seen in the picture that everybody has seen for the last, 80 years? No, that was when she was born, that'd be 80. So 57, 07, 50, another 14 years. So 64 years ago. 64 years ago, everybody's seen this picture. The picture's been around the world. And everybody's always wanted to know what that crazed little child was screaming at Elizabeth. And she was yelling, "Go back to Africa. Go back to Africa." That was always their number one hitter. After nigga, that was their number one hitter. Go back to Africa. So you got to understand, in 1957, we just about what? 93 years, 92 years from slavery. We ain't even 100 years out. 1865 to 1957, yeah. We weren't even 100 years out of slavery. And even though slavery had gone on for 246 years, we were being told to go back to Africa as if we had voluntarily came over to this motherfucker in 1957. See, Hazel Bryan's people, I'm sure, owned slaves. I'm sure of it. If she had that type of hate in her heart, along with them other little white maggots then, their family were people that owned slaves. Sister Elizabeth said that the mob was 100 one day and it was 1,000 the next. She said it was ridiculous. It was like, it didn't get better. It got worse that quick. They had them in police cars and shit, down in the cars, covered up, and racing away from the high school. You're probably not going to hear me say this much, especially about that era, but I thank the police for doing their job that day, because they saved 9 lives that they didn't necessarily have to save. Because the mayor, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was, no, it wasn't the mayor. I think it was the chief. It was the chief of police. He said he was going to give him one. He was going to give him one. She talked about this video I just shared. He said he wanted to give one up, sacrifice one of them. This is how demonic they were. This is how nasty they were. Let's. Did you have something else to say, anonymous Facebook user? Let's. That's all I can say is let's. Sorry. Well, good morning to you. Let's have a good morning. How about that? Let's have a good morning. Let's talk more about Elizabeth. Elizabeth went through some shit that day and every other day. She talked about how they had to go in different parts of the school to get in and out. Like the first day, they didn't even get to the school. They make this so famous, like they walked through the doors in the school. They didn't even go to school the first day. They couldn't get into school. They had to regroup and come back the next day. See, a lot of history's been wrong, and maybe this is about critical race theory too. See, people don't want to really talk about Hazel Bryan, but they'll talk about Elizabeth Eckford. They might not even talk about Elizabeth Eckford. They'll talk about the Little Rock Nine, how they integrated the schools. Do we want to talk about why the schools needed to be integrated in the first goddamn place? Why do the schools need to be integrated in the first place? This is America. We're Americans. We're supposed to live as all. All men are created equal. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, and all that other bullshit. Let's keep it 100. Always. I mean, we're in a situation, they're telling us to go back to Africa as if we came over to this bitch voluntarily. Do you know your history? Don't you understand that if we had the opportunity for a return trip for them 246 years that we was beaten and brutalized and murdered and raped and shit, we would have went back to Africa? We weren't offered a round trip ticket, bitch. Why don't you go back to Europe or wherever you came from? Because just as clueless as I am about where my people came from in Africa, most of these European motherfuckers over here, they don't know where they came from either. I mean, I know the Irish know where they came from, and I know the Italians know where they came from, and I know the Jewish people know where they came from. Where all the rest of y'all motherfuckers come from? And be the first ones yelling at go back to Africa. Maybe you came from there too. Elon Musk is from Africa. I mean, they spent all that motherfucking time, 246 years, and then another 92. And Elizabeth Eckford and Hazel Bryan was running the same race. Bitch, what did you do with your motherfucking head start? You had a 364 year head start, and we running the same race. Did I fuck up or did you fuck up, ho? That's what Elizabeth should have. She could have been breaking that down to Hazel. Look, bitch, my people was tied down for motherfucking 246 years, and we've struggled to get to this point. Your people oversaw my people, and you've had a 92-year head start with Reconstruction and sharecropping and redlining and Jim Crow, and look at us. We running the same motherfucking race. So maybe you need to go back to where you came from, since it didn't work out for you. You whole ass motherfucker. See, this ain't your traditional, it's so-and-so's birthday, it's so-and-so's celebration day. We not gonna just celebrate Elizabeth. I'm gonna tell you how I feel how Elizabeth should have spoke. Shit. Motherfucker. I can't put you on live unless you in Haps. I'm not even sure who I'm talking to. I'm not gonna put somebody anonymous on if I don't know who I'm talking to. So I've been doing these videos for 102 days on Haps, and anybody that comes on live know they gotta get on the Haps. I'm not on Facebook. I'm just being shown on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. I'm just being shown through YouTube. Let me know what your name is first. I might not even want you on my live. I don't know who you are. But Elizabeth and Hazel, crazy shit, they would become friends later in life. They actually became friends. Now, I don't know if they were really friends or if they were just more associates with some type of a relationship. You know, they did some shit together. They used to go to spas and lady days together. They used to go do school functions talking about racism, talking about that period in their life. And then the shit came to a halt because Hazel really hadn't gotten over shit. Hazel really wasn't done with the bullshit. And she said some out of pocket shit, and Elizabeth didn't like it, and Elizabeth stepped away, and they never really got back with each other. They never really dipped hard again. See, a lot of people don't know that shit. Maybe that's critical race theory too. See, they just want us to know about the integration. Some motherfuckers might even talk about who's screaming and what they screaming. But they really don't want to talk about that these two individuals in that picture became associates in their adult life. Fuck with each other, heavy. Fuck with each other, real heavy. And then one day, it was all gone. Their friendship, their relationship, their association, all gone. Get on Haps. I can't add you unless you're on Haps. It won't let me add anybody from Facebook. Good to see you. But the way this woman has lived her life has been the epitome of what you would want a black woman to do after going through what she went through. She didn't just get all wigged out, have to suffer through PTSD, which I'm sure she has at 79. I'm sure she has it at 79. Dealing with that one fucking day would have gave somebody PTSD for the rest of their life. But she dealt with that shit every day. She said that day that everybody sees in that picture was one of the best days. iPhone stole. God damn, you in California. Shit. Somebody stole your goddamn cell phone this early in the morning? What is it with people stealing phones nowadays? You gonna either get caught with the phone, because the motherfucker's got a chip in it, or what, are you gonna throw it away? I mean, somebody's phone. Why would somebody steal someone's phone? It's no good to you once they lock the bitch up. You can't even look through a motherfucker's pictures and shit. I'm sorry to hear that, sweetheart. When you get your devices right, sign up for Haps. So when I'm on Haps, I can put you right in. It just doesn't allow me to do it from other platforms when people are on other platforms. But Elizabeth Eckford, she is a great woman. She is a strong woman. One of the youngest of the Little Rock Nine back then. And you know what? Hazel was younger than her. Hazel was younger than Elizabeth Eckford. Up there spitting that crazy venom. I mean, we already knew she was a young bigot, but she was younger than Elizabeth. And what's even crazier, I don't know if they've erased her, but they said that she's not even listed as a student at the Little Rock High School. Shouldn't have even been there. She was just part of the white angry mob. Just part of the mob. I should be at another high school right now, but I'm going to be here wrecking havoc at Little Rock. There is no record of Hazel Bryan at Little Rock High School, so nobody really knows how she even got in that picture. You see how that worked, Bernie Sanders? Hazel Bryan is etched in history because she was behind Elizabeth Eckford and the Little Rock Nine. You said you marched with Dr. King, and we can't find one fucking picture of it. See how that works, Bernie Sanders? You lying motherfucker. We know where Hazel was at that day. Where was you at in the March on 63, Bernie? Until Bernie says he's for reparations, he's just a lying motherfucker. I marched with Dr. King. You lying motherfucker. You ain't marched with a motherfucker. You ain't marched with nobody. You might have put your hand on the TV like them old ladies used to do when they would watch televangelists and shit on TV. They would put their hand on the TV and try to catch the word. You probably just walk right next to the TV like you was marching and shit. And later in life, you would take a claim that you marched with Dr. King. Lockstep. Eat a dick. You ain't marched with a motherfucker. You didn't march with black folks, either one of your presidential runs, and that's why you ain't been president. I know you had a whole lot of white folks pulling for you, but see, black folks sway the vote. And until politicians realize that, they need to stop fucking with black folks. And if the Republicans, if they really, really want to get back in there, they might want to fuck with some black folks. And if you're fucking with us, you're talking about reparations. You're talking about repair. Don't talk to us about how could we do that. How can you pay for all this other reckless shit you doing around this motherfucker? I don't want to hear none of that shit. Eat a dick. So, Elizabeth Eckford and Hazel Bryan, I'm bringing this shit up in Google because I saw it. Hold on. Yeah. Despite feeling awkward when they first met, Eckford and Bryan surprisingly became friends after the Little Rock Nine shit, right? They went to flower shows together, bought fabrics together, took mineral baths together, got massages together, appeared in documentaries together, and went before school groups to talk about racism together. This is where shit fell apart. My mama and my daddy, that's all I can chalk it up to. I'm sitting on a whole bunch of motherfucking scattered community college credits, a broadcast certificate, FCC license, and a whole bunch of undocumented experiences. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to. Other than that, I'm just your average, everyday motherfucker. But I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you 1,000. It said, since Elizabeth never learned how to drive, Hazel joked one time that she had become Elizabeth's chauffeur. See, why you got to go there? Why you got to go there? Why you got to be her chauffeur? Real shit on this bro right here. White cat pulled up. Looks like he's about to take a walk, or he's going to go to this store but he's parked like in the second to last parking space. You know, portly motherfucker like myself. And he's literally parked out here. He's either about to take his walk or he's about to walk to that store. Good for him. I like to see a motherfucker do that. Good for him. Walking to the store. He in the second to last parking space in this bitch, and he walking to the store. That's how he getting his cardio in. I can fuck with that. I've done shit like that before. Don't do it nearly as much as I need to now. I remember I used to ride around in the goddamn parking lot for 30 minutes trying to get a closer spot. I wasted more motherfucking time and energy doing that. I could have just got my fat ass out and walked up. Nah, I'm trying to get the closest space. Then you fuck around and get the closest space and you can barely get out the goddamn car because somebody right next to you because you so fat and the goddamn door won't open. It was a whole fucked up experience. It makes sense that you park far away. So you ain't got to worry about nobody getting in the goddamn car and being like, no. Being big is a motherfucker. You'll find yourself doing some counterproductive shit trying to think you slick. Yeah, I'm going to get a close parking space. Well, you can't park in them close parking spaces because the cars be too close and you can't open your car door. Dumbass. It is what it is. For all the fat motherfuckers out there, that's your PSA for the day. Stop trying to park close. You can't get out your car. You fucking up these people's car. Now they got dents and shit and dings in them. And when they turn their lease in, they got to pay for that shit. Or if they pay for that motherfucker, they don't want no dents and dings in a paid off car. Be respectful. Or eat one less sandwich. Motherfuckers. So yeah, Hazel fucked up and said, I've become your chauffeur. And here's what really fucked shit up. And this is why black people need repair. And this is why black people need reparations. We going back probably now. This was 1957 that they met each other. So they was 14, 15, and 14. So when they grown now, you know they must be about 25 years later. So add 25 to 57, and then what you got, about 82, 83? So let's say we're in the mid-80s, and they doing all their little shit together. And she said, I've become your chauffeur. Then they said, whenever something costs money, Hazel would always treat. It was awkward for Elizabeth, who had a hard time explaining to people just how poor she was. She didn't know how to articulate how they could be fucking with each other, but she didn't have no money. You taking mineral baths and massages and all kinds of shit, but Hazel's paying for it. Elizabeth ain't got no money. You trying to tell me that somebody from the Little Rock Nine who went through school, who went through formal education, now can't afford to just live on a basic? On a basic. Trying to tell you. Trying to tell you. Hold on one sec. Here we go. She got a bachelor's from Central State. I think that's a black college, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to see here. Eckford was accepted by Knox College in Illinois, but chose to return to Little Rock to be near her family. I don't know exactly what happened there. Not even going to speculate on it. She later attended Wilberforce, Ohio, Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, where she earned a BA in history. In 2018, Eckford was awarded an honorary doctorate from Knox College. So I want to know what happened in Knox College. Now I do. I didn't want to 30 seconds before. She became a probation officer. That's what it says. She worked as a waitress, a history teacher, a welfare worker, an unemployment and employment interview. She was also a military reporter. And then it said she was a probation officer in Little Rock. I don't know if she has since retired. I would hope so. I would hope she's retired. She almost 80. President Clinton presented her with the nation's highest civilian award, the Congressional Gold Medal. Here's some crazy shit. On the morning of January 1st, New Year's Day, 2003, one of Eckford's two sons, Aaron, 26, was shot and killed by the Little Rock police. I literally just saw that for the first time. So I'm going to read the rest of this, and then we're going to conclude. So I ain't going to be on here long. I got Kai donuts. Got to go back and get it. If this ain't 2021 sitting right here, I don't know what is. So I'm going to read the whole paragraph and then close it up. On the morning of January 1st, 2003, one of Eckford's two sons, Aaron, 26, was shot and killed by Little Rock police. The Arkansas Democrat Gazette reported that police officers had unsuccessfully tried to disarm him with a beanbag round after he had fired several shots from his rifle. When Eckford pointed his rifle towards them, the police officers shot him. His mother had feared that his death was suicide by police. She said he had suffered from mental illness, but had been off his prescribed medication for several years. The newspaper later reported that prosecutors investigating the fatal shooting had decided that the police officers concerned were justified shooting Eckford. Mental illness, wasn't taking his medication, police officers, dead black man. Started out kind of good, didn't it? But ended the same fucking way. His mama was told to go back to Africa, and all she was trying to do was go to school. He didn't even make it to 30 and was killed by police because he had mental illness and had been off his medication for several years. He was only 26. God damn, he had only been an adult 8 years, several years. Yeah, man, it's a life we live and die. Y'all have a good morning. Have a good breakfast. I'll be back on here for Sunday service. I ain't forgot. We're going to talk about how white Ann Arbor got over the last couple weeks. Yeah, it got whiter. It got whiter. ER Nurse Blondie, how you doing? You on duty? On duty with some downtime or just some downtime hanging out on halves? But yeah, y'all be good. Y'all be good. It's Elizabeth Eckford Day. We need to remember July 23rd, 1967, too. I write a piece every year. What happens on that day? I ain't gonna get off out of here without catching this now. What happened on July 23rd, 1967? Break me off with that info. Oh shit. I don't even know if I've ever known that date. I just knew 1967 and it was the summer. Okay, I look forward to that. What? Will you come on Freedman Media and talk about it? Maybe not today. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I'm sure some of the other content creators don't want to talk to you, but I want to put my hat in the ring right now. I'd love to bring you on live and be able to talk about that experience. And I can't wait to read your piece on it. Yeah, you can never forget. That's one of the most tragic things, to see a city burn like that, because there were so many around the country that burned that way. But Detroit had the auto industry, Motown Records, several other things came out of the auto industry. Several other record companies truly came out of Motown Records. We really should have turned into an entertainment capital, not along with the record industry. We should have became huge in the movie industry. I don't mind. I do too. I just don't do it publicly. I cry inside. Sometimes when I get off these fucking videos, sometimes I just let go. I ain't gonna lie. I just don't do it a lot on camera. Sometimes people don't really get how hard it is to start talking about the detriment of our people. Even though it might be years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, it's still very difficult to talk about. You lived through one of the craziest times that this country has ever endured. You lived through the 1960s. That's one of the craziest decades this country has ever endured. And I'd love to talk to you about it if you're willing to do so. Bring all your tears. We're protectors. We're comforters here. We don't make fun of those who are emotional. It all actually draws us closer to them. You think it over, and I know that today is the 18th, so I'm gonna badger you. I'm gonna badger you a couple more times before the 23rd. Your dad wanted to be there, and changed him forever. He couldn't get over how many people. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. You experience something that 99.9% of the people you'll ever meet in your life can't say they did. That's crazy. If you say, I bet you never did this, and tell them that, there's nobody out here that can say, oh, yeah, I was there too. Y'all be good. Talk to you soon. ER Nurse Blondie. You make the decision to or not to. I'm good with it either way. Like I said, tears don't bother me. Just adds that much more realness to the shit. You've seen some things out here. I mean, you've seen some things. Wow. But it's Elizabeth Eckford Day. Courage, strength, resilience. What do they say nowadays? What do they say? I never fold. We use that term from time to time. We had so many other terms. We've always talked about not folding and shit. Nah, you don't fold. You don't buckle. Elizabeth didn't fold. She didn't buckle. There's another picture of her sitting at the bus stop, sitting on a bench, just sitting there, not going back and forth to nobody, just sitting there, silent. The strength in her silence was ridiculous. I pray for that type of strength sometimes. I pray where I could, sometimes I need to be silent. I don't pray for a lot of shit like that, but I want some spirit to grab me some days, and some days it does. Some days I'm able to just remain silent about shit, and I become empowered with my silence. Most of my power comes from when I'm actually speaking, but a lot of my power I've learned comes from when I'm silent. They say silence is deadly. I'm ready to kill a couple motherfuckers with that. Real shit. They published a pic from the bench in 1957, and next to it, a more recent picture. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. I didn't know that. I just took the silent thing from, just seeing how you never saw her outwardly speaking, like she was protecting herself by staying silent. I didn't know that there was actually a real symbol by that. So I'm just learning a lot of this stuff as I go too. I'm not afraid to say that you got all these historians out here and all these gurus and out here, black gurus, they know this, they know that. How come y'all ain't talking about Elizabeth Eckford? What the fuck y'all doing out here? Y'all want to quote Neely Fuller. Y'all want to quote Malcolm X, John Henry Clark. Say something about somebody else. Y'all act like y'all just like the motherfuckers who used to just say Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Black Panthers, Malcolm X. There's so many black people in history that don't get the recognition for paving the way. Hey, 1957 is way before 1963 and having a dream and shit. We got to stop acting like shit only happened during a couple marches and protests. Shit happened every fucking day. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But I'm going to get on up out of here. Anybody that crept up in here, I appreciate you. ER Nurse, Sister Andrea. Sign up for HAP, Sister Andrea, when you get another phone, when you find your phone. Sign up for HAPs. Come on live when I'm on HAPs. Come on live like ER Nurse Blondie's gonna. That was my assumptive close, ER Nurse. That was my assumptive close. But I'd love to have you on, though. And I've got more. There's going to be more days. These aren't national days. These aren't international days. These will just be Brother Shannon days. I'm making this shit up as I go along. We got people that we need to salute out here. We can't just keep saluting the same 5, 7 people and act like they paved the way for blackdom. So let's get it. Appreciate y'all. One love.